Hello fellow duelists, this is Shadow of the Moon and welcome to my last video of August of 2025, and that will be the Bystial Blackwing deck profile. So I'm actually excited about showcasing this deck off because this is one of the decks that I don't update as often. And if you're playing more of like the pure Blackwing build, this is kind of a build that will take your game to the next level, so to speak, because you are playing with more Bystials in here. Bystials work very well with Blackwings. Ironically, they both came out in the same set. Darkwing Blast Bystials actually came out at the same time as Blackwings did in the new set. So obviously they do work really well together. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get on into these deck profiles. I hope you guys enjoy. There's a couple things in here that you can switch around, and I will explain that too. Obviously, standard 3 Sun Moon of the Poison Wind. This is standard. 3 Sudris, obviously as well. 3 Vatas, obvious 3 Vatas. 2 Chamal, 2 Chinook, Zephyros, Zonda, Zephyros, Hammerton, and Stranga. So I am playing a total of 17 Blackwings in here. Simoon, Sudri, and Vata are all mandatory because you need 3 of them in the deck. If you're playing a pure build, 2 to 3 Chamal is appropriate. That's why I'm playing 2 in here. I have 2 Chinook in here because 2 Chinook actually works very well as a hand trap. It's always nice to be able to see that either in your opening hand or to be able to see it to where you can search for it. And if you do have to dump something into the graveyard, you can dump the other one in there in case you have to if you end up having Hammerton. But for the most part, I have 2 in there because I do really like it. Plus, it is a great hand trap. And then obviously Zephyros the Elite because it's the bounce back. Hammerton because it modifies the level. And then Stranga because Stranga it's a pop in the graveyard, destroys them, and does what it needs to do. And then for the spells and traps, you are going to be playing 2 Black Whirlwinds, 1 Black Feather Whirlwind. This is all you're ever going to need in this build because this is enough. And then Zephyr, you want to be able to search for that. And then ironically, I am only playing 2 Small World because I am choosing to bump up and play other cards in the build. So I'm just having 2 Small World, but this deck is very consistent as is, so you don't really need to play the Pot of Prosperity or 3 Small World, but if you wanted to, you could. And then I'm playing 1 Blackbird Close. Blackbird Close is so nasty because it allows you to kind of tribute, and then tribute a Blackwing monster to special summon a Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck, but you don't use it for that. You're using it for the tribute to destroy. If your opponent's monster activates an effect, it destroys it, and that's really hard to recover from. Most cards like Effect Veil and Imperm make it to where when they do negate a monster's effect, it stays on the field. So if they have another body, they're able to actually use that to special summon majority of the time. But if you're playing Blackbird Close, that is definitely not the case. You can actually activate this, and this will negate and destroy the monster's effect, which is really, really good. Then we're playing, for the hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Mulch Army, because Mulch Army is one of the best cards. Infinite Imperm until I can get Dominus Impulse in here. That's the plan. 1 Call by the Grave. And then we are playing the triple Super Poly. Okay, so Super Poly kind of is iffy in this format. I'm actually considering taking this out because a lot of the targets anymore. The thing is with this, the way the format is right now, it's very, very diverse. There's a lot of different decks that you're going up against. So this card like this that would be used for like Yummy is like completely dead against like Canine, because a lot of times Canine will summon that Lupus thing. The Canine Izuna will summon Lupus from the graveyard, and obviously neither of them share anything in common with each other. So Garura or Mud Dragon, but I'm still keeping it in here just for now. But in the meantime, eventually I will probably take it out. And then for the Bystial Engine, you're going to be playing 2 Lebellions. This is kind of a hot take. I think 2 works really well with this deck. You don't have to play 2, you can play 1, but I think 2 works really well with the deck. Druid Swarm, Magna Hut, Baldrake, and then your Branded Regained, because Branded Regained works really well with this deck. And I think this deck has a total of 18 extenders and hand traps, which is pretty good. This is a 42 card deck. And then we're going to be moving on to the spells and traps. So, or not spells and traps, the extra deck. So, we're going to be playing 2. You're going to be playing 2 Assault, 2 Blackwing Dragons, 1 Full Armor Master, 1 Notham, and 2 Boreas Storm. I have 2 Boreas Storms in here because you do, in the event, if you do get nibbed, this is a really good card to be able to continue your plays, because you can make this again. You just can't activate the effect if you've already used it, because it's a once per turn It's hard once per turn, so you get the effect, and then that's it. But it's really good because if they do nib you, it's another way to access it. Plus, it's another Blackwing body that you can put in the graveyard using Chinook or, you know, whatever have you. So it does work really well. And then we're going to be playing Bystial Disbatter. We're going to be playing Chaos Angel. And then for the super poly targets, obviously Mud Dragon and Garura, obviously. Then we're playing Typhon, because I do find that Typhon in this deck, if you don't have anything else to play, Typhon is pretty much the surrender button. You're going to play Typhon last-ditch effort and do whatever you can, but at the end of the day, this isn't like the best card to play. You could probably take this out. I just wanted to include it in here because there has been some games that I played where Typhon would have came in handy because I actually had nothing, and I had just a little bit that if I could have brought out Typhon, I could have won the game, but unfortunately, since I didn't have it, there was no way for me to win. And then you have your SP Little Knight and Ystrix. Everyone knows why Ystrix is in here. And then you have SP Little Knight for that Banishment effect. Really sweet Banishment effect. So it works really well. So, alright, that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. I know it was super quick. This deck is a lot of fun. Really, the only difference between this and the other pure build is the other pure build may only include maybe a couple of the Bystials, 2-3 Bystials, which is what my other deck has, only because of the extenders. I'm using them more as an extenders. In this deck, this is more for an engine. You're using this more for the engine aspect of it. So obviously, Lebellion is going to be a lot better. Plus, Lebellion plus like Vata makes, or Lebellion plus Sharnga makes a Chaos Angel that is basically making it to where your synchros are unaffected by your opponent's card effects, which is really nice to be able to have 2 Blackwing Assault Dragons, Disbatter, Chaos Angel, and then like, you know, Full Armor Master where they can't be destroyed by battle and your synchro monsters cannot be affected by your opponent's card effects. So works really well, and I think. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're on the road to 650 subscribers. I'm really hoping eventually we get there. It's been a push. So if you know anybody that would like to subscribe, or if you would like, you know, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you do and click that notification and that icon bell, so that way you can be updated on any of my deck profiles, my posts, or anything else that I do on this channel, because sometimes I also do unboxings. So also I do shopping videos from time to time, so definitely be on the lookout for that if that is something that you really do enjoy. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Later.